It's Monday, April 22nd. This is PSN News. Tonight we'll bring you more details on the recent UPUA meeting, as well as details on the recent release of the Mueller report.
We also have more on the charges against 2 former Beta Theta Pi members, as well as details on the bombings in Sri Lanka. Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Katy Shero.
And I'm Gabriella Hornack.
This past Wednesday, the University Park Undergraduate Association's 14th Assembly met for the 3rd time in the Hub since the Assembly was elected. President McKinney gave a brief report detailing the previous week's events, including the Big Ten on the Hill Conference in Washington, D.C., advocating for this year's Associates of Big Ten Students legislative agenda. McKinney also discussed a new meal point donation plan that will be implemented for the remaining weeks of the semester. Students with spare meal points can donate them at the register to students who may need them. The Assembly also confirmed the newly elected positions within the 14th Assembly, with Percy Motley serving as the Community Diversity Liaison, Lexi Pathical as the Outreach Chair, and Jonathan Kinney serving as the Parliamentarian of the Assembly. President McKinney then swore in Earth and Mineral Sciences Rep. Amanda Bird and Interfraternity Council Rep. Tom Dougherty. The meeting concluded with a unanimous passing vote allowing members to give out absentee ballot requests from April 23rd to April 25th in the Hub.
2 former Beta Theta Pi brothers charged for the alcohol-related death of Timothy Piazza in 2017 avoided jail time last Monday. They were both given minimum sentences of 2 months, house arrest, fined $1,500, ordered 100 hours of community service, and are set to be on probation for more than a year. The former brothers, Nicholas Kubera and Jonah Newman, both pleaded guilty in January to 3 counts of hazing and 1 count of conspiracy to commit hazing. Deputy Attorney Megan Mafferty said Kubera and Newman were also involved in providing alcohol to 14 fraternity pledges, 12 of which were under the legal drinking age of 21.
Big changes are coming to parking on campus this summer, as the parking office announced effective as of July 1st, 2019, the Hub, East, and Nittany parking decks will be extending their fee hours to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This change will only affect non-permitted visitors, and they can expect to pay the $1 per hour fee at all times. Permitted visitors will still be allowed to park in all decks for free on evenings and weekends. Evening and weekend permits cost $6 a month and can be purchased at the parking office. Red A, Orange, and commuter lots will still offer free parking to visitors on weekdays after 5 p.m. and most non-event weekends. According to the parking office, there will be additional changes made in the future regarding visitor parking.
A former Penn State employee charged with recording more than 20 men in a Bryce Jordan Center bathroom after initially being caught filming an unnamed high school student on prom night in May 2018 has been sentenced to jail. According to Center County Judge Brian Marshall, Charles Chamberlain Jr. of Spring Mills was sentenced to 6 to 23.5 months in county jail. Additionally, Chamberlain must face 3 years of probation and register as a sex offender for up to 15 years total. After a phone search, police revealed Chamberlain possessed 37 videos of 22 men urinating in the same bathroom. University spokeswoman Lisa Powers said the allegations were, quote, deeply disturbing. Chamberlain is set to start his jail sentence this Friday.
Stay tuned, because after the break, Megan Drakus will bring you the latest in entertainment news.
The great British explorer George Mallory, who was to die on Mount Everest, was asked why did he want to climb it. He said because it is there.
Ignition.
Man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. The exploration of space will go ahead, whether we join in it or not. and it is one of the great adventures of all time. This country was conquered by those who move forward, and so will space. We ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked. Thank you.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Megan Drakis with your entertainment update. The Fashion Society of Penn State stitched their mark on the university with their second annual student fashion show on Thursday in Heritage Hall in the Hub. Models in the show wore a variety of looks, including vintage outfits, formal wear, and casual everyday fashion. At the end of the show, attendees were able to shop from a selection of donated clothing items which benefited the Fashion Society. The purpose of the show was to display a diverse group of models as well as give student designers a chance to participate in an actual fashion show and bring awareness to the club. The No Refund Theater performed their last show of the semester on Saturday, closing out with a production of The Complete History of America. The show included important individuals throughout America's history, such as George Washington and Betsy Ross, and embraced a comedic theme highlighting the time from the very beginning of the country until today. The show was revised from its original version for the jokes and puns to be relevant to the current time period. Just like every other show performed by the No Refund Theater, tickets were free to students, and the group is currently looking forward to having another successful semester in the fall. After almost 8 years of being together, English singer-songwriter Adele and her husband Simon Konecki announced their split this past weekend. A statement to the press explained the couple is still, quote, committed to raising their son together, and they are currently asking for privacy at this time, end quote. It is rumored that in the past few months, Adele has been working on her next album and that it will reportedly be out before the end of the year. That's your entertainment update. Stay tuned because after the break, Alexa Arcuti has the latest in sports.
3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston.
We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained and new rights to be won. Man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Alexa Arcuti with your sports update. Number 1 Penn State men's lacrosse earned a share of the Big Ten title Sunday with a 20-9 win over Johns Hopkins. This win moves the Nittany Lions to 11-1 on the season and 4-0 in Big Ten play to earn a share of the 2019 Big Ten regular season title. Sophomore Jack Kelly, who missed the past 2 games, came out on fire and recorded a career-best 5 points on 4 goals and an assist. Redshirt junior Grant Ament recorded a team-best 7 points, scoring a season-best 4 goals and added 3 assists. The Nittany Lions defensive middies played strong as senior Robbie Black added 1 caused turnover and 1 ground ball. Number 34 Penn State tennis defeated Purdue 4-3 at the Sarney Tennis Center on Senior Day to cap off a successful 2019 campaign. The team will enter the Big Ten tournament as a number 3 seed and with an 8-3 conference record, which ties a program best from 2014. Penn State won 4 single matches and took the last regular season match win of 2019. Senior captain Constant de la Bastière clinched a match win for the Nittany Lions against Athol Bennett 7-6. De la Bastière will enter the conference tournament with a 19-3 record at the number 1 singles position and a 9-2 record in the Big Ten. The Philadelphia 76ers outscored the Brooklyn Nets in the 4th quarter to win Game 4 with a score of 112-108, taking a 3-1 lead in the best-of-7 series. Joel Embiid of the 76ers recorded the first 30-point and 15-rebound game in playoff history since Charles Barkley in 1990. Tobias Harris added 24 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists in the victory, along with Charles Levert, who led the Nets with 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. Jared Allen and D'Angelo Russell each added 21 points to the game, but Brooklyn fell short in the end. Game 5 will take place tomorrow, April 23rd in Philadelphia. That was your sports update. We'll have this week's top headlines after the break.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
All right, you ready for some baseball trivia?
Let's do it.
What year produced the most no-hit games in the big leagues?
7 no-hitters in 1990.
Wow, that's right. Now a question that's not trivial. How many children will witness bullying this year?
Huh.
The answer, 3 out of 4.
75%?
That's
Wow.
right. How many of them will say something?
Kids want to help, but don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Was it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Last week, Special Counsel Robert Mueller released the 400-page report that detailed the investigation of the Russian government's involvement in the 2016 presidential election. Though the report painted President Trump in an unflattering light, it did not accuse him of any criminal wrongdoing and concluded that there was no collusion. The investigation found no evidence that anyone from Trump's campaign conspired with Russia. However, it did find that many of the stories Trump declared as fake news were accurate, such as him denying telling former FBI Director James Comey to end the investigation into his now former National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn. Trump previously attempted to fire Mueller and said that Mueller's investigation was, quote, the worst thing that ever happened to me, end quote, when he was initially notified of the appointed special counsel.
A Florida Broward County Sheriff deputy was reassigned on Friday after a video surfaced showing him punching a teenage boy in the head during an arrest. According to the arrest report, the deputies were originally called to the scene of a large fight in the parking lot of a local shopping plaza. After being asked to leave the area, one student was caught trespassing and arrested. Another onlooking student was near the arrest, then was pepper sprayed before being pushed to the ground and punched in the head for, quote, taking an aggressive stance towards another deputy, end quote. Broward County Mayor Mark Brogan has since released a statement calling the incident, quote, outrageous and unacceptable.
This past Friday, a California couple was sentenced to life in prison after being convicted of abusing, starving, and beating 12 of their 13 children, ranged 2 to 29 years old. David and Louise Turpin of Riverside County, 57 and 50 respectively, were arrested in January 2018 after their 17-year-old daughter escaped from the family's home and called 911. When police arrived, the Turpin children were chained to beds and had been sexually abused and severely malnourished. The Turpins each pleaded guilty to 14 felony counts of false imprisonment, torture, and child endangerment. The sentencing judge said of the children now, quote, to the extent that they do thrive from today, it will be not because of you both, but in spite of you both, end quote. The couple will be eligible for parole in 25 years.
Sri Lankan police have arrested 24 people in connection to the series of devastating suicide bombings of several hotels and churches that left nearly 300 people dead and more than 500 injured in Sri Lanka. Yesterday, no one has yet to claim responsibility for the attacks, but police alerted security officials 10 days ago about a threat to churches from a radical Islamic group known as the National Tawhid Jamaat. However, authorities failed to act on this information. Major social media platforms and messaging services have been since blocked by the government to avoid the spread of misinformation.
And that's all for tonight on PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter at PSN News. Thank you for joining us.
Have a good night, Penn State.